From the Manic Street Preachers. This must make a change for you then, actually being here rather than being in your bedroom and listening to the show.
A big change, yeah, being in London. Very odd for me.
Not something you relish particularly?
Not particularly, no.
All right, well, welcome anyway. Just to make you feel really old, for people that listen to this show might not kind of be au fait with the Manic's whole history. Can you give us a sort of a potted history of the band?
Well, I suppose the first proper thing we did was Motown Junk on Heavenly. You know,
back in
91. We'd only done 28 gigs, if I remember rightly. Before that, we never, you know, we just sent loads of letters out, and we got signed to Heavenly. Jeff Barrett was really nice, and we signed to them. Signed to Columbia and Generation Terrorist, followed by drink-addled years of depression.
Can you describe how you looked?
A kind of urban New York Dolls. Sometimes flattering, I thought.
Yeah, makeup helps, doesn't it? And
yeah.
Balaclavas and things like that.
Then Gold Against the Soul, and then kind of bypass that. And then...
Is that not something you look back on?
Well, image-wise, no, because we went a bit rock. And then, you know, Holy Bible, where we kind of went back to our roots and tried to look like Apocalypse Now.
And now look at you.
And now...
You all look so respectable now.
Now, we are quite old now, and, you know, we just wanted to have a bit of dignity. We didn't really feel like dressing up like tarts again.
So you think that's the end to the image?
I think so, yeah. I think that decision was to kind of come back with a new order type non-image.
Okay, well, the album is with us now. Everything Must Go. You've been so scrutinised over the past couple of months, right, from the support with the Stone Roses and then Sound City in Leeds and then again with Oasis. What's it been like past couple of months?
Well, the hardest thing of all is that, you know, I'm sick and tired of just speaking on behalf of Richie, because I can't do it anymore. I mean, it's really hard to speak on behalf of someone that you don't know what he's thinking or don't know where he is, or etc., etc. And, you know, people keep asking me questions about it, and I just don't know anything, you know. It's kind of affected some of the gigs we've done, because you feel you're under so much scrutiny that, apart from the Sound City, which was a kind of release and kind of filled with a bit of spirit. But the others have been, you know, we wanted it to be a bit sterile because we're not too happy facing things at the moment, live-wise, because you kind of faced with the reality of your best friend not being there.
Can you tell us in your own words, rather than all the press stories that we've read, and there have been loads and loads of rumours, what actually happened?
Well, as far as I know, Richie disappeared from the Embassy Hotel, and he went back to his flat in Cardiff. He left his passport, he left his Prozac, and he drove off in his car. He never threw any lyrics in the river. That's complete rubbish. You know, he gave us lyrics about 5 weeks before he went missing, just because he had a lot of lyrics anyway. He was always giving you lyrics. He was like, oh, give it a rest, Rich. You know.
Not discerning.
Yeah. So I rushed down his flat, thinking I might catch him anyway, thinking he might have got home, but I missed him. And from that day on, you know, we know absolutely nothing. There's certain, you know, sightings and taxi rides which are kind of 50-50. You don't really know if they're true. When the actual car was found at the Severn Bridge, you know, one of the, well, probably the worst moment of my life. You know, there were a lot of good times. Good's not the word, you know, but just times when we were ourselves. People would think we're miserable anyway, you know, when we're together, because we kind of are.
Because you don't smile.
Yeah, but we like melancholia, you know. I love it when it's, if I'm at home and it's just raining and raining and raining for days, and I can just forced to stay and watch telly. That makes me happy anyway. There were lots of times when, you know, there was one time when we were in Portugal and Richie was drunk out of his skull and he started doing the Michael Jackson dance in a nightclub, pretending to be a robot. You know, which is very hard for people to imagine. They just picture him stuck in his bedroom, writing or mutilating himself, and that's just not the case.
The image that people have of him, and particularly the fans, because he had such a hardcore devotion to fans, has that put a lot of pressure on you?
Well, there is a cult of Richie, which, you know, probably are never going to like us again.
Do they write to you, and do they stop you in the street and confront you?
I try to avoid a lot of letters this year because, you know, sometimes you get letters written in blood and stuff, and it doesn't make you feel any better.
Are you still in touch with his family?
Yeah, you know, I speak to his mum and dad every week or every couple of weeks, and his sister, and, you know, they're lovely.
Okay, we'll play a track from the album now. You can choose the first one. What do you want to play?
Enola Alone, which is, Enola is alone spelled backwards.
Taken from the album Everything Must Go, it is Enola Alone, and we're joined by Nicky in the studio at the moment. Can you tell us what that track's about?
It's a bit of a sad, sentimental song. Just looking at my wedding photographs, and there's Richie on one side and Philip, our manager, on the other side, and they're kind of both gone. So it's just, I'll take a picture of you to remember how good you looked. It's just sort of locked myself in my room and just thought about all the good and positive things, rather than just at the time it was just endless waves of suicide and mutilation in all the papers, and I just want to think nice things.
Do you feel that you can put all that behind you now? Is your state of mind kind of upwards and onwards, or?
No, I don't want to put it behind me, because it's a massive part of my life. I've known Richie for so long. I really admired him. I thought he was a genius, and I'll never ever forget him. But I think we'll always respect our history, but we have also got to move on, and we'll never be the same band again.
What do you think that he'd think of this album?
4 of the songs were written when he was still around anyway, and he heard them and he liked them. He loved like Small Black Flowers in the Sky. So, I'd hope he liked it. We were never going to do Holy Bible Part 2.
Okay. And what was it like while you were actually making the album? Was it a cathartic kind of experience?
No, well, I'd be lying to say it, because in the studio it was just easy. It was secluded. We were away from everything in the studio in France. It was just really nice. Couldn't speak the language, couldn't speak to anyone, just the 3 of us. The only thing I missed was Richie's usually like in his room doing collages or watching telly, and you miss going in and chatting, but it wasn't a traumatic experience. It was very easy. If there's any catharsis, it's actually writing the songs, not recording them.
How's it affected the relationship between the 3 of you? Did you all have different ways of coping with it?
Yeah.
James was at every lig in town. I saw him. What about you?
I just stayed at home. I didn't go to Australia. I went to Torquay for 5 days. That was my only holiday. And I did gardening and played golf and wrote loads of lyrics and painted, and Sean just bought lots of things. Probably James was the most radical change, because he never used to drink, and he was, he kind of lapsed into a kind of London thing. But
that was obviously his way of dealing with it.
I think it was that, he just blocked it out with alcohol.
Design for Life, what was that about?
That's just a critique and celebration of working class life. That more than anything made us want to carry on as a band. We wrote that very early, before, after Richie had gone, about 3 months after that, and we realised it was such a fantastic song that we needed to record it, and everything was natural after that.
Was there one point when you all got together and decided whether you were going to go on or whether you were going to split up?
We were close to splitting up when Richie's car was found. Not saying like, hey, we splitting up. It was just, we can't be asked to do this. Everything is just too terrible. But after finding out various things about the car, that it might not have been there for 2 weeks, and it was, he might have been driving round, etc., then there's no real sign that he jumped in the river. So they kind of thought, there's still a strong possibility that he is alive.
Are there any songs that you wrote for Richie or about Richie?
Well, there's some lyrics I've written about Richie which will probably never see the light of day. But the nearest ones on the album are Everything Must Go, and which is kind of to the fans and everyone. And Enola Alone, which is, like I said, was about Philip and Richie.
Okay, we'll play Everything Must Go.
Good.
It's the title track from the new Manic's album, Everything Must Go, and Nicky's still here with us. The backlash has started already. I've been reading in the letters pages of some of the music press.
I know, but I expect that, and I really don't, if certain fans think that we've sold out, I think they're being a bit naive, because that was the whole idea of the band. at the time when we came out, everything was very indie, and sort of setting up your own label and drinking down the Syndrome Club with all your mates. And we were completely anti that, we wanted to be the biggest glamorous band in the world. So we haven't sold out, but people do have the right not to like that record, and if they think it's, not to their liking, then I don't mind. And if they want to kind of stay frozen in that period of when they loved the band, then I don't blame them.
What's it like being back on the treadmill, doing Top of the Pops, the tours, the whole, pop star bit that you're doing now?
Well, it's not too bad.
He says with a deep sigh.
No, it's not too bad. It's all part of the job. It's not too bad as long as it's in Britain. It's when it goes abroad, I kind of...
And you have to get on the plane?
Yeah, that's when I kind of go off the idea.
Do you kind of actively discourage the band from going and, playing in Australia or America?
Subtly, but don't tell them.
What is the song Australia about?
That's just about, like, escapism, you know. I wanted to run away after Richie went missing as far as I could to get away from everything.
How did you get over it then?
I don't know. You know, I think perhaps starting the album was probably the best way. You know, actually doing a bit of work. It's not. I'm not going to like a therapy session. I'm not that sort of person. You know, I don't show my feelings that much anyway. I only ever cried once when they found Richie's car. I really, you know, it was horrible, and I didn't cry again until we did the Hacienda gig, and I came off stage like a complete wreck because it was the first time hit home that Richie wasn't opposite, necking down 20 whiskies during a mid-song break, and it was I don't know, it's just a strange moment for me. You know, if people criticise us, not criticise it but say it's not quite as good, then I can understand that, because I don't think it is yet. I think we need a couple of months and a couple of tours to actually bridge that gap. You know, we'll never ever get another guitarist.
Absolutely not.
Absolutely. No Pat Smears in this band.
Do you still have ambitions within the band?
Oh no, there's no ambitions I've got to travel or conquer
Obviously
the world.
not.
I haven't. You know, I got ambitions to make good music and, you know, make fantastic records, but that kind of early ambition to convert people is kind of waned a bit for me. Only me personally. I mean, James would go anywhere and do anything.
Actually, I've just remembered one of the things about the Backlash. Someone said he looked like Phil Collins and was singing like Phil Collins now.
Very strange. I mean, I thought that was a bit over the top. Also, when the letter said, you could see the Manics faking their angst, I think that's a bit much, to be honest. I think we've got stored up enough angst to last a lifetime, you know. I've got no need to fake angst.
Do you have confidence in the future of the band?
Well, I think it's the best album we've ever made. I think it's an amalgamation of all our records, and it's the most natural record we've ever made. Apart from that, I don't really look any further.
You can't tell whether there'll be an album to follow it?
Well, it's not a problem writing the songs. I mean, we wrote 17 songs for this album, plus all the B-sides. You know, we got loads of songs. It's just all the rest of it. No,
all the stuff that goes on.
It'll be fine. You know, I don't think there's any problem with that. As long as people still want us, then I'm sure we'll be there.
You all seem quite hardened towards Richie. Like, imagining if he was to come back tomorrow, what you'd say to him and how you'd feel about him.
For me, it'd just be extremely scary. I'd really like to see him again, but I can't deny that I'd be really frightened. Because I just, you know, I got no idea. I thought I knew him better than anyone, but perhaps I didn't. For me, if he just sent a postcard to his parents and just said, you know, I'm okay, whatever, I can't return or I will return or whatever, then that'd be enough, because I think that'd just give peace of mind to people. I don't think that'd last long. I'm sure within 5 minutes everything would be fine and we'd just be taking the piss out of each other within, you know. Where have you been?
You do seem to have dealt with it with quite a bit of humour, I have to say.
I think that's our defence mechanism. It's always been cynicism, you know. Like, we don't really show too many feelings to the world.
Okay, what are you listening to at the moment, out of interest?
Your radio program.
Good. What else do you listen to? What do you like that we play on the show?
Well, there's loads of stuff, you know. I generally do love Oasis. I do like the Boo Radleys. I mean, James really likes the Chemical Brothers and stuff. I don't know what Sean likes because he's so weird.
Is he?
Yeah.
What's his record collection like?
It's just strange, you know, and he's really into computers and stuff, so he's slightly, you know, just mad. You know, he's classically trained. He can play the trumpet. He plays the trumpet on the album. He writes music. Sean is the kind of mad Brian Jones element, you know.
Right. That's his role.
Anything that's expensive, Sean likes on the record.
What's James' role in the band?
Well, James is the musical conductor. He's the backbone, you know. If there's any meet or greets or parties, etc., then James is the man to do that job, which I'm very thankful of, because I don't think I could do it, and I don't think Sean wants to do it, so. And
what about your role in the band?
My role is the sensitive one, I think.
Okay.
On a good day.
Talking of which, we'll play another track off the album, which is one of my favourites. Do you want to tell us what this is about, Further Away?
Well, it's the closest thing we've ever got to a love song, and it's a kind of yearning for childhood. It's a bit like life becoming a landslide in that sense. It's kind of, but it is a bit of a love song. I'm sorry, people, but it is.
You have to admit it. Okay, a love song. This is Further Away.